Now picture this, you're not on the FBI's most wanted list for robbing banks or selling secrets to Russia. No, you're wanted for throwing cinder blocks at federal agents like you're in some twisted version of dodgeball. And somehow, you really thought you could stroll back into the country like nothing ever happened? But karma had other plans. He got snatched up right at the border by the same agency he tried to stone like a biblical punishment. Instant karma, doing the cha-cha slide at the gate. So, here's what went down. This guy's under arrest for straight-up assaulting federal officers. Authorities say he dipped to Mexico after they blasted his face across the internet, begging the public to help track him. This 39-year-old from Compton just made it to the top of the FBI's "You Done Seriously Messed Up" list. Back in June, during that wild iced protest in Paramount, LA, all hell broke loose, fire, shattered windows. And this dude launching bricks like it was football tryouts. The FBI didn't just take notes. They offered a $50,000 reward and called him a masked brute. His face hit the most wanted list. Then boom, silence. He vanished. But surveillance and drone footage caught him in full black gear, masked up, literally breaking concrete with his bare hands and chucking it at DHS vehicles. He wasn't just mad, he was organized. He was handing out masks, rallying rioters. And yeah, DHS took that very personally. FBI says after the June 7th chaos, he fled south to Mexico. Federal agents allege he deliberately assaulted officers with the intent to maim, which, by the way, is no joke. That's federal assault on a federal officer, up to 8 years in federal prison. Not local, not county. Federal time. But here's where it gets messier. He wasn't just a one-time hothead. He was already on the radar. So let's open up that criminal rap sheet, and it's wild. We're talking felonies for drug possession, with intent to sell, selling weed to a minor, DUI, driving on a suspended license, and that's just the highlights. This wasn't some peaceful protester who got carried away. This dude had a track record, a criminal resume. This wasn't a bad moment. This was a decade of doing dirt. He wasn't out here fighting for a cause. He was out here throwing cinder blocks like it was sport. That's not activism. That's straight-up felony assault. Look, there are people out here genuinely protesting for justice, for immigration reform, for real change. But when someone like Reyna shows up, masked and ready to throw down, it's not helping the cause. It's hijacking it. And it gives every opponent exactly what they need. Look, they're all violent thugs. The truth, you don't go from 5 felonies to Martin Luther King overnight. Elpo didn't show up to protest. He showed up to break things and vanish. Only this time the feds were faster. After the riot, dude went full ghost mode. No social media, no burner phone, no dumb mistakes. Straight up Jason Bourne disappearance. The FBI, DHS, and Border Patrol launched a multi-agency manhunt. Posters went up. Reward money on the table. Drone footage flying, tips pouring in. Then one random day, like it was nothing, this guy shows up at the busiest border crossing in the country. He tried to run halfway across the Western Hemisphere, but it didn't work. Word is, Mexican authorities were already closing in, and the man had no real choice left. So what did he do? Turned himself in. You're looking at federal charges now specifically for assaulting U.S. federal agents. Reyna allegedly fled to Mexico after feds blasted out his image, and it worked. Officials say he was first detained in Sinaloa, but eventually agreed to surrender at the San Isidro port of entry. That's where the FBI swooped in and arrested him on felony charges. What's the message here? Simple. Throw bricks, you can wear a mask, but if you touch a federal officer you're getting hunted, point blank, you can run, but you can't hide. And here's the wild twist. Reyna was arrested by the same border patrol agent whose vehicle he allegedly attacked during the riot. You literally can't script this stuff. It's like karma called the FBI and booked a front row seat. And now he's facing a potential 10-year prison sentence. That's the cost of trying to turn protest into full-blown chaos. Let's be real. If this whole summer of rage was meant to scare ICE or shake the feds, it's not working. I've been watching the discourse, reading the comments, and guess what? The majority of Americans still support border security. They might not co-sign every ICE tactic, but they're definitely not screaming abolish ICE either. If anything, these violent protests are backfiring, especially after that New York case where a federal agent got shot in the face by undocumented immigrants. That only fueled ICE's mission even more. These riots aren't weakening IC, they're feeding its fire. The agencies like, see, this is exactly why we exist. And to some extent, they're not wrong. The truth is guys like Reyna aren't exposing ICE. They're making it easier for the agency to justify everything it does. They're muddying the waters for activists who are actually working through legal and political systems. And yeah, civil disobedience is American. Sure, but when you start chucking cinder blocks at feds, that's where Uncle Sam draws the line.